It is a big idea, a new world order.
Novus Order Seclorum.
You believe deeply in your system, and we believe just as deeply in our system.
A single global culture.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy. No secret is revealed.
Until now, this is Hard Truth. Listen.
Wake up, America!
Welcome to episode 1 of Hard Truth. Wake up, America. We are here in the studio, going to just kind of dive in today. My name is Josh.
I'm Vic.
And I'm Kirk. We're going into the darkness and spreading light. Vicky is holding the torch, and she has been doing this for a very, very long time.
Very long.
And so we're going to kind of hear from her today about why we're doing this podcast and what it's all about, and hardtruthwakeupamerica.com, all the good stuff. A little bit about you, Vicky, if one doesn't know who you are.
Okay, let's give you a little precursor. I am a patriot. I'm a truther. I'm a Christian. And I've been in this game for many, many years, well over 2 decades, way back before Alex Jones, way back before video was even online, when you had to read articles and actually do the hard research. So I've been around probably since the beginning. I am from the old school Bill Cooper days. I run a lot in that vein. My idea here is where we're at in the world right now. Everything that's going on, I just see that it is the time, and God is waking people up. So it's just time to open a platform and have a place for Christians and non-Christians alike to go to, where they can research everything about all of these things that are going on, the Illuminati, the New World Order. You know, they put that pretty little tag on it these days, calling it the deep state. I think that's more palpable, and people can accept that and not really look too deeply into it or question. But there's a lot going on, and it's been going on for a long time, since the Garden of Eden to the Tower of Babel, through all of history to today. And like God says, there's nothing new under the sun. It's the same old game. Satan's running the same old game. He's been running since the garden. If you research and look around, what you will discover is that he has been building the kingdom of Antichrist right under our noses for many years. But God's waking people up. So, past this prologue, we have to understand where we came from before we can understand what's happening and where we're heading. And so I don't see a lot of that out there. I see a lot of shills. I see a lot of misinformation, disinformation. I don't see a lot of really good, sound places for people to go and get the good information. So I have gathered up 30 years of research. And hopefully, with Josh's wondrous abilities, and both of us being gifted of God, that we can help people, and that our website will be something that a person doesn't have to worry our motives behind it, if we're sold out, if somebody's paying us. We are what we are, and it's a good, safe place for, like I said, Christians and non-Christians, because I want this site to be for everyone. I'm a Christian. I come at it from a Christian viewpoint, but I also understand there are many other faiths in the world, and I love all people, and I want us all to share together. I'm not looking to convert you or preach to you. I'm just reporting the news.
So over 30 years of research and development and organization, and I know I've spent hours and hours and hours compiling all this and organizing it. So if you've tried to find information that hasn't been disinformed, and it is proven documentation,
That's right.
This is the place to go, hardtruthwakeupamerica.com, and everything is organized into categories, and you can find out about all the different facets of that unseen hand that has been trying to shape things over the course of history. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Vic's background and tell kind of her story a little bit and why she's doing this, discoveries she's made along the way. And so be enlightened. Wake up. We'll be right back.
Alex Jones.
Illuminati.
Alice Bailey.
Secret knowledge.
The global elites.
H.P. Blavatsky.
Hard Truth. WakeUpAmerica.com is an archive of vetted documents, video series, and much more, dealing with categories like the bloodlines of the Illuminati, Catholicism, cybertech, the FBI, theosophy, and other groups and subjects manipulated by the Luciferian agenda. Research now at hardtruthwakeupamerica.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Let me have your attention for a moment.
Stay calm.
What is it?
A life form of its own.
Head straight for us.
Be afraid.
The voice on the radio.
More than just a man.
This is something much
Everything will be all right.
more dangerous.
Dangerous.
Stand by to transmit.
Receiving you. Over.
Now hear this.
Welcome back to Hard Truth, Wake Up America. It's the maiden voyage of this podcast talking about the truths of revised history throughout history and how the unseen hand has kind of orchestrated the rise of the Antichrist and all of that research that Vic's done over the last 30 years, all compiled on her new website, hardtruthwakeupamerica.com. Today's episode, we're just going to kind of dive into Vic's story and hear kind of where you've come from, Vic. Some of the things that you've gone through that brought you to this place.
My research began after I had a personal experience with somebody who is an Illuminati. And when I met that person, I knew nothing about it. This was 30 years ago. Through that relationship, I had a very supernatural experience with God, where he divinely woke me up one morning and showed me what was going on. So I immediately went to my computer, and God is faithful. He took me everywhere I needed to go in one morning to get me onto a path to figure this all out. So that's where it started. My research began there. I was raised up in a bookstore for our family business. I was reading Shakespeare at like 9. So I'm a big reader. So I just dove head in. Like I said, back then, the internet, this was way back, like early mid-90s. There was not even video online. And just like a sponge, just research. There were some really good sites online that came on. Rob Howard's was one of them. Just totally opened my eyes. Then I met other people through the process who were also Illuminati and had experienced the same things. And just everything came together and confirmed. And so then for a career, I was a writer. And so I took a job on an online news website. It was an anti-New World Order Christian website called Global Christian News. And so I wrote over there for a while. And then just through life, having 5 kids and family, and I had a YouTube channel after YouTube came out for a few years later, but I never stopped researching every day. For years, I was online after Bill passed, and the Alex Jones stuff went crazy. Rob Howard's website was not taken down, but he disappeared 2 days after 9/11 and never returned. So a bunch of us were over there on boards, because back then you didn't have chat rooms or any of that. You just had comment boards on the websites, and we would go in there and communicate that way. So we all defected from Rob's site and went over to a new website called Freemasonry Watch and continued the debate with the Freemasons and the Luciferians. And so I spent 6-7 years just every day debating high-level Freemasons, just pagans, Wiccans, Muslims, carried that over to a YouTube channel for some years. And then they started purging after 9/11 But then it seemed like after Obama came in, it was a massacre. And they just went in and yanked every truther channel. And so I kind of just backed away from it then. I mean, I kept up with what was going on in the world. Of course, I already had researched 20 years, so I knew the plan. So I've always watched and known why things are happening, where it's all heading, but just didn't involve myself, you know. And then newly married, 7 years, wonderful husband, spoils me rotten, supports me anything I want to do. And so I had a really good business and I was making really good money, but I just felt like I wasn't serving. I just felt like I was selling stuff, you know. It was just burning in me to open this website. And I didn't know how my husband was going to take it because you never know. So I went to him and I said, look, I would really love to sell out my business, take that money, and roll that into an anti-New World Order website. What would you think about that? And I'm here. So
I said yes.
So, you know, I feel like, here's what I think. I think that we each have a destiny, and I think God has prepared me for 30 years, researching, learning. You know, I feel like this is God who's given me this platform, and I feel like I can't not do it. This is what is in me to do, and this is what I feel like is my destiny, and I'm called to do, is to help other people, and mainly to reach out to Luciferians, Satanists, Theosophists, Rosicrucians, generationals that are in it. I want to help them come out of darkness into the light. That's what I feel like my cause. I think it's great if Christians are blessed by everything, you know, on my website. I think that's great. But that's not my point in this. My point in this is to get the people in darkness and bring them into light. That's why I feel I'm here.
So when you woke up in the early 90s, you began to do research and finding these sites. Many of them were hit or miss or didn't have the full information, and you had to kind of look in many different places for all this stuff, even on through the early 2000s.
Yes, I was never a person that would just read an article and take it at face value. I've never been that way. I always go back and research until I prove to myself. And I would advise that for anyone. Don't come to my website thinking, you know, this is truth and I can take everything Vic tells me. You need to take what's on Vic's website and then you need to go back and do your own research and compare it with the scriptures and, be Bereans. You know, don't just go because it's the great Paul coming in town to preach, you know. Take what you're told, and then you go back and you compare that to the scriptures, and you go do your own research. You know, the research I do is I will go to places other people won't go. You know, I'll go look in government websites. I go for the proof. And luckily, when I woke up, the internet was such a way that it wasn't monetized, okay? None of this information was monetized back then. It was an open sharing platform of just waking people up. So if you were able to put in the time and the hours, it was all there and very easy to find. Now you got everyone on Google Chrome, you know, they're going through Yahoo. They're not getting the hits that I got, you know, they're not getting the searches. They can't pull any of those things up. If you go to YouTube, even if those old school videos are on there, if you don't know exactly how to search it, you are never going to find that stuff. You go search on Google, you put in New World Order, Illuminati, you're going to get tons of crap. Disinformation, you're never going to get to the real meat of it through Google. It's never going to happen. And I don't even know if that stuff's still there, but I can tell you if it is, it's buried so far because I've went pages deep, and it's just crap. So I feel bad for people that are waking up now because it's really hard to find really good, truthful information and what's going on, because what you're going to run into is 99.9% of it. It's shills and it's disinformation. It's just taking you down rabbit trails that don't lead you anywhere except keeping you off the true path, which is understanding the kingdom of Antichrist.
So some of the best things about the website is that decades of research and vetted information, documentation that you've compiled yourself and then resharing it on the website.
Yes. And look, I'm not here to convince anyone that the New World Order, the Illuminati is real. It's just like Jesus, okay? If you've done the research, then you know he's real. It's the same way with the Illuminati, the New World Order. If you've done the research, you know it's real because it's out there. You can't read the Bible and not know Jesus, right?
Yeah.
If you read the Bible, the Word was made flesh. Yeah. If you read that book, you will meet God.
The thing about truth is we can put it out there, but it is the Spirit of truth that leads and guides us into all truth. So, the information is out there not to convince anyone, like you said, but it is to wake up your spirit to the voice of God.
Yes.
So that he can lead you and guide you into the light.
Yes. And that's what I pray over the website, that anybody who comes, that God might guide them to what they need. I don't make the rules. I just report the news. So I plan in the bounds that God gives me. I live to stick it to Satan. Here's where I'm at with Satan. His whole game is desecrating God and God's creation. Everything he does is to desecrate, to turn upside down, to pervert, to twist either God's word or his creation. I love God, so I will always, till my last breath, fight to defend God's word, God's truths, and to stick it to the devil. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. That's what God has equipped me to do, is spiritual warfare. I've done it for 30 years, and I was not raised up in a Christian household. I did not even know God until I was in my 20s and, met him alone. So this is just what I've been since I became born again and filled with the Holy Ghost. It's just what I do. I just want to fight him.
So ever since that first day that you met Jesus and then woke up to the truth of all this research that you've done over these years, it's been quite a journey. Now, Kirk, you've been on this journey for the last 7 years.
Last 7 years. Amazing journey. My view on this all along was that she would come up with these things about what's really going on, and I'd look at her like, what?
Like I'm crazy.
Like what? A lot of the people that she would say was involved in some things that maybe were completely opposite of what I personally knew, because I personally knew these people, I would look at her like, where do you come up with this stuff? But I can tell you one thing about this woman. She has committed her life to putting together all of this information, to bring it to everybody out here, to show them, or to at least give them the tools so that they can show themselves what the real truth is. And I have to commend her for that, because it is absolutely mind-boggling when you get into all of her archives of what she has amassed throughout her last 30 years of her life. And I, as her husband, am honored to be a part of this and to be the person that has helped her bring this to the masses, because I think this is her calling, and I am very proud that I could help her bring this out.
So along the way, we're going to dive into some really specific areas and talk about some specific topics on this podcast. It's a great first episode. You did a great job. And, it's a little bit of your background, a little bit of your history. It's always good to know something that people can reference back to.
Sure.
So next week, we're going to dive into our first topic in episode 2 of Hard Truth, Wake Up America. That episode will deal with the power of prayer. It's the only thing that's going to fight this. We'll see you then.